Oh, so it's okay for you to be
Oh,
sexy.
well, of course.
So you can bring sexy back, but nobody else can.
Correct. Well, I mean,
Okay.
if you got to be sexy to bring it back. I mean,
Welcome back to Under Oath. I don't know if we're going to agree or not agree on this. People showing up to the workplace looking however they want to look.
well, we let you in here, so
Okay. Now, if I had, now let's talk tattoos specifically.
all right.
Now, Disney used to have a deal with their tattoos. They said no visible tattoos. We can't have you. Then they changed it. Now, people are putting tattoos in very awkward places, like on their face. In fact, one of the cases we're dealing with happened in female firefighter, November 10th, 2022. She gets this huge tattoo, which basically shows her vertebrae of her neck all the way up into her hairline, where she has like the fingers of death touching or some kind of,
I'm looking at it right now. It looks like two hands reaching towards each other.
Yeah, it's the one.
On the top
it's Da
of her
Vinci.
spine.
It's Da Vinci, basically. The two fingers of Da Vinci touching.
Okay.
Except they look like I don't know. They kind of look thin. They look like kind of skeleton hands.
No, they look like people hands. There's flesh on
The
them.
point is this: it goes all the way up into her hairline, so she needs to shave her hairline completely so you can see this.
Is the audience seeing this picture?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
So we have
they
to
are.
describe
I'm getting
No.
producers saying they are seeing it
On the radio, I'm sure on Real Radio they hear
on the
they'll see
YouTube channel.
it. Okay,
right?
on YouTube. Point is this.
Jeff, believe it or not, I know that they can't see it on the radio, but go ahead.
Okay, the 25,000 people who listen to it on the radio will not see what we're talking about, so I
Okay,
need to
all right.
describe it. Point is this. They say, you got to grow your hair out. There's no way this is going to be okay. Our code does not allow you to do this.
And who'd she work for?
Fire department.
Okay. I'm going to stop right there because, like, if you're working for the fire department, you're not dealing, like, with customers showing up and buying coffee or buying clothes. You don't have to, like, present a particular image. And I think if you're getting dragged out of a burning house, you're not going to give two craps about if the firefighter has tattoos or not. You're going to be thankful that they're there, right? I would be.
Where do paramedics work?
Are we talking about paramedics? We're talking
No.
about
Where do
firefighters.
paramedics work? For the fire department. Where
Okay.
do EMTs work?
I don't
Fire
know.
department. Ambulances, fire department.
Okay.
Okay.
So what?
So the
So
first
they're showing up,
responders,
like you're not showing up as a customer and buying something.
they have rules. We don't want it. You will look semi-professional at this job. So they said, no,
Well, a tattoo on the back of the head's not really that big of a deal.
depends. You got a skeleton that runs all the way up your head. And then they have to make decisions. What tattoo on the back of your head? What Baby Huey? A Mickey Mouse? Now I got to
Which
make
one's appropriate?
choices. The fact is this, visible tattoos. That's the argument here. Certain tattoos, maybe 20 years from now, nobody will care. Like 20 years ago, you weren't allowed to wear an arm tattoo. They had problems with. Now they don't have problems with arm tattoos. But now face tattoos and skull tattoos?
Yeah, you can't really get a face tattoo. No, I mean,
Why not?
Well, you can, but you're closed.
You're helping me out of a
doors.
fire. You're helping me out of the fire.
No, the
Why do I care?
firefighters can get face tattoos maybe, but
Oh.
if you're working at Starbucks or Target or
Let's talk
7-Eleven,
about this young lady. This young lady was told, grow your hair out. So she grows her hair out. And they go, your haircut now is not. No, your haircut does not
You know
cover
what?
regulations.
There's more going. No. There's more going on. I'm telling you, if that is what they did, there's more to this story. Somebody wanted her fired, so she got tattooed. She gets tattooed, and they say you can't work here unless you grow your hair out. She grows her hair out. Now you don't meet our hair policy, and now you're fired.
So her name is Kay-Ann.
Kay-Ann.
Can we call her Kay for short?
Kay. Look at me. I promise you.
Even on the radio.
You were.
Hear me.
Hear me, Kay.
You hear the words coming out of my mouth?
You were fired for reasons other than your tattoo. I'm looking at your tattoo, and they made you grow your hair, and then they fired you for having the wrong hair policy or not complying with the hair policy. You were fired for some reason other than that. I promise you. Contact us at whenyouneedus.com.
We don't know
will
where she
represent
works.
you. Well, we'll find somebody. If she's in a state where
Now I'm trying to figure
you
out.
don't have a license, we'll find somebody to represent her.
In the picture, there's like this shave across the top. But I'm looking at when she had the fade, when she had the tattoo, and she doesn't have that cut in her hair. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Did she cut that hair specifically so you could see the tattoo a little better? I don't know
Well,
what's
that's
going on.
probably what her hair looked like when she got the tattoo, right?
Well, it doesn't show in the fade because if you look at the fade she has with the tattoo, you don't see that line that goes all the way to the top. This looks like somebody cut the line in. Not the point. The point is that it looks like she grew out her hair. The tattoo's basically hidden. So I don't know what the problem is.
I think she might be fired because she's black or because she's a female.
Yeah. There seems to be something weird about it.
You cannot tell someone, okay, cover your tattoo up by growing your hair out and then fire them for growing their hair out.
It's a weird picture, and I think there might be some Photoshop because the after picture shows the collar all the way up where the collar kind of goes up the neckline, but I still don't see the tattoo between the shaved area and the collar. So I'm not sure if this is a real photo, if we're being screwed with or not. But if she did grow her hair out, I think in this situation that she should have been fine. It's always weird because you don't know what we're really looking at as far as evidence go, because she could have taken that picture, somebody else could have taken the picture. But if she did comply and she did her best, walk it off. I mean, what are people complaining about? And I know her boss, she just must have, her boss must have.
If it's the Kaufman Fire Department, you're not firing her, right?
No, of course not.
Of course not.
There's a lot of cities called Kaufman. There's Kaufman, Missouri, Kaufman, Texas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Now, this one's a little silly because I can understand it. I mean, the vertebrae, it might freak some people out. But let's take it to the next level. Let's go to the face tattoo.
Okay.
Now, as we know what's going on right now, we'll call her TJ Maxey. TJ Maxey.
I actually saw her video.
Yeah, TJ Maxey goes to get a job at TJ Maxx. And
what's her name?
She doesn't get the job. TJ Maxine.
TJ Maxine?
Yeah, I'm kidding. I just think that should be her name
well,
because that would be the greatest. TJ Maxine at Hotmail.
She said in
Gmail.
her video, I don't think that was the reason. She was talking about experience, right? And she goes, I don't think that was the reason. But then, basically, she knows that's not the reason. Obviously, your experience has nothing to do with why you weren't hired. But then she goes to rail TJ Maxx and companies in general for not giving people with no experience a chance. But she knows that the experience had nothing to do with why she didn't get hired. It's because of her face tattoos.
What job at TJ Maxx do you think she was unqualified for?
Any
face
place
tattoo
where the public sees you. Now, if she wants to stock shelves at night when they're closed, all right.
You got the piercing, you got the bull nose ring, you got the tattoos over the forehead, around the eyes, and then you have this kind of scorpion demon thing on her neck that goes into her face. Now, let's say the job I'm applying for is cashier.
No way.
Okay. Customer service?
Customer service? No way.
Okay.
No way.
What about stalker?
Stalker, maybe.
She's walking down the aisles. People are seeing her.
When people aren't in the store. You got to stalk when they're not in the store.
Okay. So
you can unload the trucks in the back. Any back office, like you're in the back, yeah, you can do all those jobs. I don't want you meeting any of my public if that's what you look like. I mean, this isn't just one problem. Like the nose ring all by itself would probably disqualify you.
Well, what they do sometimes is they can block that out.
Away.
They can actually
and she's got her cheek and multiple areas on her lips pierced and her eyebrows pierced. All of those together, no way. And the nose, I guess you can get away with the nose piercing, that little sort of cute button kind of thing, but the big bull ring in the middle, no, that's not going to work.
Certain places they allow you to stick like something in there in your piercings to just like little things to hide them.
And then there's like a flower pattern, looks like a, like wallpaper curtain.
No, that's ISIS. Remember the superhero ISIS on like Saturday morning show where they wore the tiara? It looks like an ISIS thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, the minute when I look at her and whatever I automatically, how can I say it? You could get uncomfortable.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. I don't want people coming to my store and remembering that as the face of my store. If I'm TJ Maxx, I don't want people associating that bizarre, demonic type of look with my employees.
What if they were like Disney figures? She had a Pluto on her neck or something.
It's still bizarre and disordered.
Okay, so is the tattoo, Not that it's just on the face, but the style of the tattoo.
Well, I mean,
that'll
it's
throw
all
you.
of those things. It's the type of tattoo it is. It's the placement of the tattoo, right? So you got a demon, and it's on the neck that comes up over onto her jawline. I mean, maybe you get away with like a little Smurfette on the neck,
So
and that's okay.
So I'm TJ Maxx, and I say, here's the deal. No face tattoos or outside piercings outside of earrings.
Earrings and maybe one small nose ring, because so many people have their nose pierced nowadays. You almost have to let that go.
Because I'll tell you that the Publix cashier.
And when I
had a
say
nose
nose
ring on.
piercing, I don't mean that big bull ring that is in the front of the nose. I'm talking about the little, like,
You do realize what we're going to be doing there in this handbook.
what?
The handbook for TJ Maxx now. The bull ring, the nose ring cannot exceed a 1/4 inch from the type, and they'll have to describe that area of the nose.
Yeah.
And I want the producer, for all you guys who nitpick our damn show, I got to now figure out what this area of the nose is, because I don't want them to go, he should have known what that is.
It's the taint of the nose.
You don't even say that. You know that is not what that is.
It's the taint of
It
the
is
nose.
not the taint.
It's
of the
between the nostrils.
nose. It is not.
It's the flesh between the nostrils.
Okay.
It's the flesh between the two holes. If that isn't taint, I don't know what is.
Okay, they're going to describe it as probably the tip of the nose. It can't go farther than the tip of the nose, a 1/4 inch. That's what they. And could you imagine the guy hiring you has to get out a ruler and figure out you're in compliance?
No. What you're doing when you do this, you're closing so many doors.
But they said the same thing with arm tattoos. And stuff.
Closing so many doors.
So maybe 20 years from now we'll be cool with it.
I doubt it.
I
mean, we could probably go all the way to maybe tolerating face tattoos, but that particular face tattoo, no, I don't think so.
The septum. That's what it's called. The septum.
A septum
The
piercing.
septum. And I'm not talking like one of those things that I did at Harry Potter. The septum. Now, the weird part about it this way is, and I'm going to tell you why it's going to change. Disney used to have these rules. They said you can't grow no facial hair and no tattoos.
Well, I hope she doesn't grow facial hair.
Well, here's the thing. What's going to happen is this. In 20 years from now, there's not going to be people. They're going to need to hire people. And they're going to change those rules because they're going to have like 4 people who can do the job. and
Wait a minute.
And they're going to
So
turn
you
down.
think this is the trend? You think that we're all headed towards that?
I think we are going to self-expression right now is at an ugly level. And now a lot of tattoos, believe it or not, they can be removed easily. They actually have tattooing stuff that can be temporary, that all you have to do is run a light over it and clear it out.
Really?
Yeah. The future. Now, here's how I feel about tattoos. I think self-expression is fantastic, but it's going to cost you because people are going to judge you. That's like showing up in a tank top and expecting the job. And she goes, no, I want to wear my tank top during my job. No, you got to wear your uniform. You got to do this.
Well, you're demanding a particular type of attention from everybody you run into. You're basically begging them to ask you about your tattoos when you have that many and that prevalent of a tattoo.
And what about clothes in the workplace where there's not a uniform? Do you think a boss management can tell people that's too provocative? You can't wear that outfit?
I absolutely think that management can tell people they can't wear particular types of clothes.
And what is that level? They go, okay, you have to wear long pants, but it can't be form-fitting. Is that the...
Can't be skin tight.
No Lululemons.
Well, Lululemons those seem like okay.
Those are yoga. Those are form-fitting.
Yeah, I mean, yoga. I guess it kind of depends on what they look like in them.
I mean, you remember
right? I mean,
spandex?
No.
Remember how we
shaking her head.
we weren't big on spandex. Spandex, we made a joke of it. We said, oh, look at it. Some people shouldn't wear spandex. And people were very judgmental. Now we have Lululemon and people like everyone wears yoga pants now. Everywhere you go. No matter the size, fit, yoga pants everywhere. Now, what if somebody wears yoga pants to work? You think it's okay? Like in a law office.
Publicly? You want my public answer? Yeah.
I want your as a manager, not as Craig Lynd.
The correct answer is no. That's unprofessional, and you shouldn't wear those types of clothing in a professional setting. You never know when a client is going to come in. You never know when a client's going to come in. Oh, my producer is asking me to judge not, lest I be judged.
Well, our producer's just saying that because she's wearing her Lululemons.
Oh, is she? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know if those are terribly professional. But having said that, I'm wearing plaid and jeans and a big belt buckle, so I could probably not be
With
the
the
one to
Tom
talk to.
Selleck button at the middle of the sternum.
Well, that's sexy.
And wide
Come on.
open after
Come
that.
on.
Oh, so it's okay for you to be
Oh,
sexy.
well, of course.
So you can bring sexy back, but nobody else can.
Correct. Well, I mean,
Okay.
if you got to be sexy to bring it back. I mean,
See, now we're being selfish.
we've had our own experience with this. Tell the audience a little bit about our dress code.
Okay, we have none. And we have none specifically because it just got too hard to police it. We had people wearing some outfits, and we're having to send them home on a daily basis. And I had to come up with an option because the people who are wearing the outfits, work very hard, but they express themselves in a certain way. So I came up with an option, and the option was everyone has to have a second set of clothes in the office if they're wearing inappropriate dress, which means that if they had to see a client, they could they could take off the hoochie mama pants and put on a professional outfit, because whether we like it or not, a client, and I'm not saying all of them, but a certain amount of clients want to be handled by a professional looking person. So how many times you have a suit and jacket in this office, even though you dress like Bo and Luke Duke?
Yes.
Okay. Same with me. I have probably 4 suits. I have shoes. I have everything. So if I have to meet a client, I can slap on a suit in probably about 5 minutes. So I think that's an option. The problem you have is if I'm working at TJ Maxx, I'm out in front of the public every day. If I'm working for Disney, I'm out in front of the public every day.
You're a cash register worker or a greeter or something like that. Yeah, of course. You are the image of your store. And TJ Maxx doesn't want people associating that image with their store. And I can't blame them. I can't blame them.
I do believe, though, that time determines offense. I'm not offended by clothes now that I would have been offended by 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And the same with tattoos.
It's because our standards are slowly but surely eroding.
Or we're getting less
Standards are
sensitive.
getting worse and worse and worse.
What do you mean worse?
Less professional. We demand less of people. We demand less compliance. We tolerate more individual expression.
So do you think you support individual expression?
Obviously.
So this was a benefit for you.
For me, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But it shouldn't be a benefit for
But
everybody
I
else.
can't expect to enjoy the benefit without everybody else expecting to enjoy it as well. And they're not going to express themselves in the same charming, dignified way that I do. They might do something that people would consider, heinous or too provocative or, take your pick.
So when you get to meet that new employee and that person comes in dressed to the nines, they look really good.
Yeah,
the
we've had
first
that
thing they
happen.
see is, mini, 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 mini.
Yeah.
They go, okay.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
I'm obviously overdressed.
But we agree, though. That's the kind of environment we want here. Not that we're obviously overdressed.
What I agree with this is I support you and your desire to express whatever you got going on here. And you know what? You know how many times somebody says to me, they go, that's your partner? How many times do somebody mistake you for not a lawyer?
Oh, I've never been mistaken for a lawyer. I don't think anybody has met me and said, oh, yeah, I definitely knew you were a lawyer by looking at you.
The first movie we had that we took people to, we took about 200 people to Avengers. And I do a show called Monster of the Morning with Russ Rollins. And his wife, Mary Ellen, was there. And she looked over and she didn't know who you were because she goes, did she say Luke Duke?
No, she said Cotton Eye Joe over
Cotton
there.
Eye Joe. Then she goes,
Hey,
that's
Cotton Eye
Craig
Joe
Lynn?
over
I
there?
thought that Cotton Eye Joe over there. So yes, it's tough because there are certain parameters that exist in our world. And I think they do change on a daily basis. So her face tattoo now is ridiculous in a professional environment. But in 20 years from now, we probably won't even give a damn.